good. Hi there, welcome back. Welcome back to my channel, a little bit about everything. I wasn't supposed to do anything before Christmas. I was sort of taking a little pause between videos, but I'm doing a little project here and I thought it might be of interest. If you haven't already, please subscribe, hit the like button below. It really matters. Okay, so let's get on with it. The project is a trestle bench, or Trestle Bench, okay? And today we're the 13th of December, it's 11 a.m., okay? I made a little blueprint of this with the materials that you're going to need if you're going to try to attempt to build one of these. Okay, it's very simple. This is my side view. Okay, the top of the bench, the sitting area, is 44 1/4. Okay, that's total length. All this lumber is 2-inch thick material. Really 2-inch thick material, not 1.5, or it's 2-inch thick material. And my side pieces are 18 1/4. Okay. My trestle or trestle is the same length as the top, 44 1/4. And the thickness of this is 4.5, okay? And from the tip here, I think it's 5 1/4. I'm not sure. You can make your bench and sides first, and then from here to here, from your 4.5, take off 1/4 on either side, and make sure that you're 44 1/4. Let's make a big picture of this. Now, once you've found this dimension, it's 2-inch. I don't know if you'll use 1.5, depending on what you can get your hands on, right? From there, add 1/8, and that's, you're going to split these dimensions evenly, right? So those wedge holes, they're circular. Well, what you're going to do is, or I'm going to do as well, is chisel these out so the holes look like this. But the center of my hole is 1/8 away from my side piece. Now the wedges, what you're going to do is you're going to cut or shave off a piece of the wedge like that, flat-sided, okay, and from you're not going to make that equal all the way across. You're going to give it a little taper, right? You're going to give it a little taper, so that's going to be your wedging action. Since this is 2 inches, you can make them 4 inches. Whatever is more aesthetically pleasing, okay? So basically that's it in a nutshell. So well, let's get started. So here you have, I had some 2x8s. I don't have 2x12s. So this, I'm going to glue these together to create a 2x12. And same over here. Okay. And I have a 2x6 for the trestle. And this is 44 1/4, but I've made it a little longer so I have stuff to work with if I have to trim something off. And this is I believe is 37. I've got a little extra for the sides on that's going to be the sides. It's going to be cut in half. So all I'm going to do now is plane these surfaces so they can mate for the glue, and I'm going to clamp this together and leave that sitting for a while till it's dry. Then I'll have something to work with. I can mill it down and bring it down to the dimensions that you saw over there. These fibers are splitting, so what I'm doing, where I'm going to glue this to the other piece, I'm putting in some screws to bond that together, and I put some glue there. That's going to be my clamping action for that. So I'm just going to smooth out the glue. Sure I have even coverage. A little bit of glue everywhere. That way I can be sure that this is going to bond. Okay. So I added I did this off camera. I added 3 clamps to make sure that everything was perfect. I almost glued that piece to that one and it would have been too short. I caught it in time. So there's no glue in the middle. So that section and that section, that's going to be the top, and these are going to be both sides. I don't know if you're still on there or not. Guess so. So I'm just going to edge the sides here. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is take the narrowest piece, and that's going to be my width. So this is 12 feeble. 12 feeble. Not quite 12. So I'm going to make it 11 and 15/16. The cable's a bit off. I'm try to, if I go to 12, I have to adjust that later on. I'm 12 feeble. Maybe I can run it like that and see what it does. And I like to keep my blade just above so the gullets can empty themselves. And that way I get a better safety factor to it. But in some cases you have to lift it up because you want to be keeping like the downforce instead of somewhat this way. So my boards have finished gluing, and there's a warpage to it. Okay, they were quarter sawn, but this is the center of the tree. There's always warpage or twistage around the center of a tree. That's why when you cut your boards, you want to split the log in half, and then right side up and go perpendicular to the cut. That way you get quarter sawn lumber, which only shrinks on the length and the OD. It doesn't shrink or twist or warp. But if your log is only 6 inches wide, you don't want to split it in half and then try to saw it. The machine has limits, and my mill anyways has limits, and you'd have too small pieces of lumber. So you got to put up with some of this. But what I'm going to do is, before I put it through the planer, you want to bring down one face. Okay, you want to make sure that one face is flat or close to it. That way when you put it through, you're not going to get it just slimming down and still having the bend in it, right, or the warp. So what you want to do is plane off the highs on one face, which if this is rocking on this side to this side, I got to take off this side to this side. And what this permits you to do, okay, this never changes, and the cutter's at the same height as this place, as this face. So if I take or squeeze this down, that's going to be how much I'm taking off my cuts, right? So if I start off on the low side and go towards the high side, I'm never going to shave off more than I have to get it planed, right? So you always want to start off on the lows to take off the highs with this kind of planer. Okay, so I'm going to try to get this to 0. So 0 should be around here somewhere, and it's right there. So I'm going to start off, I don't know, 1/32 shavings. Plug myself up here. Well, it's the 17th or the 18th today? The 18th. We're 5 days away from, 5 days? No. It's next Sunday. Next Sunday is 7 days from now. It's going to be Christmas. I'm wearing a hat because it's cold in here. Yeah. So start off on the low. It's only removing off the high. And this is the high here, so I'm going to work on it. Alright, so now they want 18 1/4. I got 19 on these pieces. Make sure I'm set to 0. Locked at 0. And that should be good. I'm going to square off one end and then flip it over. Need a pencil. Alright, 18 1/4. Alright, next side. Flip it over. 18 1/4. That's going to determine the height of the seat or the bench. Trestle bench, yeah. Alrighty. This has got to be 14 1/4 total length. 44 1/4. I got 45 total. I can't screw this up. I gotta get this right. Flip this over. Alright. 44 1/4. Must be close there. Bang on. Okay, so I have this rigid rotor, okay? I don't have too many bits for it. I have a 1/4 round and I have a 1/4 slotting bit, okay? And it's the only router which I had a table for. Like, I have a Porter cable, but it's a plunger and that's it. There's a plunger on it and there's a regular table. I don't have this attachment. So I'm going to be using this to slot out the slots for the sides. Okay? blowout. You're better off cutting off, since I still have time to look up to this area. You just don't go out the other end. You notch it, and then you come from this end and you go towards that other end. If not, you're going to bust, the lumber's going to explode, you know what I mean? Well, I thought I was solving a problem with this attachment, and I was able to make one pass, but that's it. That's the full extension of the pass. I can't go that way anymore. So I made a line here using the sides, and I shoved it that way just a tiny bit so I can actually make my last pass on this side. So it's going to be like 3 7/16 instead of 3 1/2. It fits. Hooray, hooray. So now, trim this to length. Now on the plans, they were the same length. The trestle is the same length as the sitting area. Now that I have that, all I'm going to do is trace inside of here to get my length. Make sure they're even on either end. Just grab it here as close as possible to the top, bench top, and I'm going to use a square and bring the lines into view so I can remove some of this. And I'm just going to put a piece underneath here so I don't get wood like shattering from the bottom, and I got to get a 3/4 inch bit. I'm going to see if I can't do it with a Forstner bit. Okay. I'm trying to avoid coming up the other side and making it look like something exploded out the other side, right? something to put underneath here, and this is not quite enough. There. Should be able to get through it with that. I guess I shouldn't have made a pilot hole if I was going to use this. And to be on the safe side, you always back up your work up against, in case it starts spinning on you. So now I have to remove this blackened spots. Okay, I just drew a line perpendicular here to this one, and I gotta take off the corner here. That's where my my dowel wedge is going to go in through. Alright, so I'm going to use the same approach. I'm going to notch the top here and then flip it over and go to the other side. And I know this looks funny, but I don't like using a hammer on the chisels. Well, after looking at this, I don't really have anything to go on where to put this, so I'm going to half it, right? I'm going to come down 1/4 of an inch and half it. And it seems like it's half from the notch to the top, okay? I have a little diagram here of, this is a 1-to-1 I think. Okay, it's 1 to 1 and 1.